Welcome back to the Wasteland, everybody. Welcome back to Fallout 3, where today we're going to be ranking all of the hats, helmets, and eye gear. So first up, let's go over the power armor helmets. And we have the power helmet, the outcast helmet, and the brotherhood helmet all combined into one because they all are basically the same. They just look a little bit different. These ones all protect for 8, they weigh 5, and they give you +3 radiation resistance. These ones are pretty good, and I'm going to put them up in Survivor's Choice. Generally, any of the power armor helmets are nice because they give you good defense. Then we've got the Hellfire helmet. This one you get off of the Hellfire Troopers. This one protects for 10, weighs 4, and gives you -1 charisma, +5 radiation resist, and +5 fire resist. This is really good. This one's going to go up into Wasteland Best. The Hellfire helmet does protect you the most out of any of these helmets besides the T-51s, which protect for the same. The -1 charisma isn't that big of a deal, and the other bonuses are really good. Then we have the Enclave helmets. This is the regular helmet and the Tesla helmet. These are actually the same, although they do have different names. I probably should have combined this into one. But these ones protect for 9, weigh 5, so they have slightly more defense. They also give you +5 radiation resistance, but -1 charisma. These are also going to go up into Survivor's Choice. They're good, but they're not as good as something like the Hellfire helmet or the T-51Bs. Which, speaking of them, these ones protect for 10, weigh 4, and they give you +1 charisma and +8 radiation resistance. These are really good. The regular T-51 is going to be probably more difficult to get because it's a longer quest, whereas the other one you get from Operation Anchorage. I'm going to put the T-51 up there. The Anchorage one is even better since it is unbreakable. Helmets usually don't break very fast though, so it being unbreakable doesn't matter too much, but it's still going to go all the way up here into Wasteland Best. They are very good helmets. Now let's move on to the regular helmets, which all of the next helmets are going to be ones that cover up your face so you can't wear eyewear with them. First up from the regular helmets, we have the Boogeyman's Hood. You have to get this one from Eulogy Jones. You do have to side with the Slavers to get it. This one protects for 8, weighs 3. It's actually just as good as power armor in terms of the defense that it gives you, and it actually has good item HP. It just doesn't come with any bonuses to it. I'm still going to put this in Survivor's Choice. It is actually still really good for the defense that it gives you, and if you like the look of it, go for it. Then we got the Filtration helmet. This you get in the pit as a reward, and this one is one of my favorite looking helmets just in any of the Fallout games. I love the miner look, kind of unsurprising, but I love that mixed with the gas mask. I think it looks really cool. This one protects for 5, weighs 3, and gives you +10 radiation resist. This is also going to go into Survivor's Choice. This is very nice in the pit. It's really good when you get it there, and it's kind of nice to have if you just need something for extra radiation resist and you're not going with the power armor helmets. Then we got the Hockey Mask. This one protects for 3, weighs 1, and gives you +5 unarmed. This is pretty good for the start, so I'm going to put it up into the Wasteland Casual. If you're going with an unarmed build, it is actually pretty nice. We got Ledoux's Hockey Mask next. This one you get from an unmarked quest, and this one protects for 4, weighs 1, and gives you +25 action points. That is a ton of action points, and this one is really, really good to take, since VATS is really, really strong in Fallout 3. I'm going to put this one up into Wasteland Best. It's another really good helmet. Then we got the Metal Helmet. This one protects for 5, weighs 3, has no other effect. This one's decent if you find it early on, because it will protect you okay, and a lot of traders tend to have this or can sell it, so it's not unreasonable to get. Motorcycle Helmet is even better, because this one protects for 5, weighs 1. Has less item HP, but that doesn't really matter, so it's also going to go up into Wasteland Casual. It's also pretty decent. Then we've kind of got all the Raider helmets. So first up, we've got the Arclight helmet. This one protects for 3, weighs 3, has no effect. These aren't as good as some of the other helmets, so I'm going to put them in the Tattered Rags. Same thing goes with the Psychotic helmet. This one also protects for 3, weighs 3. It's going to go into Tattered Rags. Then we got the Wasteland Hound helmet. This one protects for 3, weighs 3, same as the other Raider helmets. We've got the Supervisor helmet. This is from the Pit. This one is the non-unique version of the Filtration helmet. This one protects for 5, weighs 3, the same as this, but it doesn't have any other effect. So it's going to go up into Commonwealth Casual. Still good for the defenses that it gives you, but you might as well take the Filtration helmet because it's just better. And then we got Torture's Mask. This one protects for 2, weighs 3, gives you +5 big guns, +5 explosives. This one's kind of nice. It's still not great though. The defenses just aren't really there. And the other thing is that one of the hats does this too, the other Wasteland Raider helmet. So this is just worse than it. So I'm going to put it in Commonwealth Casual because the bonuses are nice, but that's really about as far as it goes. We have the Vault 101 Security Helmet. This one is the same as the Raider helmet. So 3 defense, 3 weight, has better item HP than them, but it's also going to go into Tattered Rags. So you're probably going to use it early on just because it's really the only helmet that you can get in Vault 101, assuming that you're not just going with eyeglasses and like the kid's baseball cap, which is honestly better than this. But if you just want something for defense, you're not going with melee, then it does kind of help out, at least at the very start. Then we have the welder's mask. You find this one in the pit as well. And this one the slaves sometimes have. This one protects for 5, weighs 3, has no other effect. It's the same as the supervisor helmet, so it's going to go up here. Then we move on to all of the hats, which you can wear any of these with glasses as well, which is pretty nice. Or with any of the face gear. So first up we have the bandana. This one protects for 2, weighs 1, gives you +1 perception. +1 perception is nice, so I'm going to put it up here. It's kind of nice to have this on you just if you need to get through locks. That's about the only thing it's really going to help you with, because the energy weapon bonus and the explosive bonus isn't that big of a deal. But getting through logs faster is nice. Then we got Button's wig. This one weighs 1, protects for 1, gives you -1 perception, but +1 intelligence, +5 barter, and +10 speech. That's really good. This one is really nice to have. I'm going to put it all the way up in Wasteland's best, because if you get this early on, it makes it so buying and selling stuff and getting through speech checks is so much easier than it would otherwise be. And then we got the Chinese commando hat. This one protects for 1, weighs 1, gives you +1 perception. This is a worse bandana, but the +1 perception is really what you're going for. You're not losing out on weight here, so it's still decent. Then we got the General's hat. This one you can get in Anchorage, or at least you can spawn it in from Anchorage. This one protects for 6, weighs 1, but doesn't have any other effect on it. Since you have to spawn it in, you're probably not really going to be getting this, but if you like the outfit, go for it, and it actually has decent defense, so I'm going to put it up in the Commonwealth Casual. Then we got the combat helmet. This one protects for 5, weighs 3, and doesn't have any other effect. This is very similar. It's actually the exact same as the metal helmet, although you can wear glasses with it, so this one is a bit better, but not amazingly better, so it's also going to go up in Commonwealth Casual. At least you can pick these up and they do sell for a decent amount, which is kind of nice. Then we got the Confederate hat. You can find this in Point Lookout. This one weighs 1, protects for 1, and gives you +1 perception. There's actually a lot of these all over the place, so picking one of these up early on is not hard to do if you want to rush that DLC. It's still going to go to the Commonwealth Casual because the extra perception is nice, but that's really the only thing you're going for here. Then we've got Crow's iBot helmet. This one you get from the trader Crow if you want it. This one protects for 5, weighs 10, which is just not that great, and gives you +1 perception. I guess I put this one in the Commonwealth Casual. Actually, I'm just going to put it in Tattered Rags. The +1 perception is nice, and the helmet's defense is okay, but weighing 10 just sucks. It's really not worth taking. It's not really the best. And then we've got all the head wraps besides Three Dogs head wrap. These ones all give you 1 defense, don't weigh anything, which is nice, and they don't have any bonuses. If this had +1 perception, this would be fantastic because it doesn't weigh anything, but since it doesn't, it goes to the Tattered Rags. Then we got the Enclave Officer hat. This one protects for 1, weighs 1, gives you +5 energy weapons. This is also going to go to Commonwealth Casual. It's unique in that it gives you energy weapon bonuses, but that's not really all that great, especially since you're going to be like midway through the game by the time you start being able to get these. Eulogy Jones's hat is up next. This one protects for 1, weighs 1, and gives you +1 charisma. This one's pretty nice. I'm also going to put this in the Commonwealth Casual. It does look really cool, so I do like that. The extra charisma is nice, but something like Button's hat would just be better because it just gives you more stat bonuses. And then we got the iBot helmet. You get this one in the sewers after Project Purity explodes. This one protects for 2, weighs 3, and has no other item effect. This one's pretty bad. This one's going to go into the Tattered Rags too. So, not the best. Then we got the Hat of the People. You find this in a destroyed building in the pit. You do have to find it in a safe as well. This one protects for 1, weighs 1, and gives you +5 small guns. This one's also going to go up into the casual. It's kind of cool, and if you want to rush the pit, this isn't bad, but it's still not the best helmet. Something like the Filtration helmet would still be better than this on really any build. Even if you're going with a dedicated small guns build, I still think more defense would be better than what you get with this. Then we've got the Kid's baseball cap. Yeah, you start with this in Vault 101. This one protects for 1, weighs 1, gives you +5 melee weapons. This is pretty good for the start, and I'm going to put it right in Commonwealth Casual. You also start out with the baseball bat, and you get early access to like the police batons. Police batons aren't the greatest, but the baseball bat is, so having an extra bonus start is really good. Even if you're not going with a dedicated melee build, it can be nice just for saving ammo in the early game. Then we've got the party hat and the child's party hat. These are both the same. They weigh 1, protect for 1, and have no other effects, so they're going to go into the Tattered Rags. You probably don't want to take them. I mean, I like to take them because I just collect them, but you don't really want to be wearing this as something to defend yourself with. Then we got Lincoln's hat. Lincoln's hat protects for 1, weighs 1. You can find this in the Museum of History. This one gives you +1 intelligence and +5 speech. This one's nice. It's not quite as good as Button's wig again. This one's just really nice to have, but Lincoln's helmet is pretty awesome, so it's going to go up here in Survivor's Choice. You can also sell this to Hannibal and he'll wear it, which is pretty cool too, and it does look pretty awesome being just a top hat, so I can understand grabbing this and wanting to keep it because this plus like the Lucky Shades is like always been a fan favorite. Then we got the Oasis Druid hood. This one protects for 2, weighs 1, has no other effect. it's going to go into the tattered rags. It's not really that good. Then we got the Outcast Recon Helmet. This one protects for 4, weighs 3, and gives you +1 perception. +1 perception is still good, and having this as defense is okay. I'm still going to put it in Commonwealth Casual because it's not as good as just something like the bandana, since that one's just more lightweight, and if you're just using it for the perception, you're going to use that. Although if you want to use this for defense, it's decent enough. It's actually better than the other Recon helmet that we have coming up, because this one gets perception and the other one doesn't. Then we got the Police Hat. This one protects for 1, weighs 1, and is weirdly enough unique to 3 separate DLCs, where it can only be found in Operation Anchorage, Point Lookout, and Broken Steel at certain locations. This one's going to go into the tattered rags. It doesn't actually do anything. 1 defense and 1 weight is just not that good. Then we have Poplar's Hood. This one you can get as a reward in Oasis. This one protects for 2, weighs 1, and gives you +1 agility and +10 sneak. This one's pretty good. +10 sneak is actually really nice, so I'm going to put that up in Survivor's Choice. If you want to swap this out so that you can pickpocket people, this one's actually really good. As a helmet, it's okay, and the extra agility is kind of nice because that actually gets you even more sneak than this. It would get you +12, assuming that you're not maxed out on agility. Then we have the pint-sized slasher mask. This one actually comes in 2 different styles, because you have the regular one in the base game that you really only get in the simulation, but you can cheat it in. And then you also have the pint-sized slasher mask that you find in Point Lookout. You find this in the motel nearby, you find it in a bathtub, and this one protects for 1, weighs 2, and gives you -1 perception and +5 melee weapons. This is just a worse baseball cap that you start out with. It's pretty bad, so this one's going to go into the tattered rags, although for style points, I can understand running around with it because it does look very creepy. The Blastmaster helmet is the last Raider helmet, although this counts as a hat. So this one protects for 3, weighs 3 like the others, but it gives you +5 big guns and +5 explosives. This is just a better, like, torture's mask, so it's also going to go into the Commonwealth Casual. Then we got the Ranger's Battle Helmet. This one you get from Riley's Rangers, whether you choose to pick their armor or one of them dies and you pick it up off of them. This one protects for 6, this one weighs 5, and doesn't have any other effect. I'm going to put this in Survivor's Choice because it is better than a regular combat helmet. Its defense is actually pretty good, but aside from that, it's really just going to be there for the defense. Doesn't have any other bonuses. Then we got the Recon Armored Helmet. This one protects for 4, weighs 3, doesn't have the bonus that this one has. That makes it not that great, but it still has decent defense, so I'm going to put it up into Commonwealth Casual, I guess. Then we got Red's Bandana. This one is unique to Red, but other than that, it's basically the same as a regular bandana. So 2 defense, weighs 1, gives you +1 perception. It's pretty nice to have, assuming that you don't have a regular bandana. There's no reason to go out of your way to have Red killed or kill her to get her bandana, unless you're just collecting all of the unique items or something. Then we got the Rivet City Security Helmet. This one is a better Vault Tech helmet, because this one protects for 4, weighs 3. It's going to go a tier higher, but it's still not that great. You probably don't want to rush it, but if you end up going to Rivet City and you want to steal a bunch of stuff of theirs, stealing a helmet isn't a bad option if you want to be wearing it early on. Then we got the Roving Trader Hat. This one protects for 1, weighs 1, gives you +5 barter. This one's going to go up into Commonwealth Casual. Having +5 barter is nice, and you can get this super early on, but you will swap it out for something like Buttons, Wig. Then we got the Samurai Helmet. This one's unique to Mothership Zeta. You get this from the Samurai if he dies. Or I guess if you trade with him and he puts on a different helmet or something. I don't know if he'll actually do that, though. Either way, you can get the Samurai Helmet. This one does look really cool. This one protects for 5, weighs 3, doesn't have any other effect. This one's decent, and I mean, for the looks alone, I'm going to put it in Survivor's Choice, although I'm being very biased towards this one, because technically something like the Motorcycle Helmet is a little bit better, although you could wear glasses with this, so you could maybe argue that this one is a little bit better, but either way, Samurai Helmet's going up there. And then we got the Shady Hat. You get this run from Moira after doing part of the Wasteland Survival Guide. This one weighs 1, protects for 1, gives you +1 perception, but it also gives you +5 sneak. That's pretty nice. I'm going to put it up here into Survivor's Choice because those are extra bonuses, and it's not going to be as good as something like Poplar's Hood, but you're probably not going to rush that quest, and you might rush something like Wasteland Survival Guide a little bit sooner, or you might just get through it a little bit sooner because it's at least on your way where you're usually going throughout the game. Oasis you might end up skipping, especially if you don't know where it is. Then we have the Sheriff's Hat and the other Sheriff's Hat. This one's from Lucas, this one's from Polson, but these do the same thing. They weigh 1, they protect 1, and they give +1 perception. So they're both going to go up into the casual tier. They both look pretty cool, but they're really just the aesthetics of them. Then we got the Storm Chaser Hat. This one protects for 1, weighs 1, gives you +1 perception. This is also going to go up into the Commonwealth Casual because +1 perception is decent, and if you get this early on, that's kind of nice. Then we've got the Tacoma Park Little Leaguers cap. This one works pretty much the same way as the previous cap, where this is 1 defense, 1 weight, plus 5 explosives, and plus 5 melee weapons. This one is better, so I'm going to put it in the same tier just because you do have to go out of your way to get this, whereas the other one you just start out with. But this is really good if you want to go with an explosives build or an explosive melee build. Then it's not a bad option if you just want to rush this hat. It's actually pretty good for those type of builds. Then we have the Antagonizer hat and the Mechanist hat. Both these protect the same, where they protect for 6 and they both weigh 5. They're actually decent enough helmets, so I'm going to put them up into Survivor's Choice. Then we've got Three Dogs Head Wrap, which you can't actually get in the game unless you cheat this in. This one protects for 2, weighs 0, gives you +1 luck and +1 charisma. This one's really good. I'm going to put it up in Survivor's Choice as well. It's actually very nice, but again, you're not actually going to be able to get it legitimately, because even if you kill Three Dog, he doesn't actually drop this. So it's not really worth it, but I mean, if you want to cheat it in, it is actually a bonus overall. Then we got the Wig. You find this in Broken Steel. This one protects for 1, weighs 1, and has no other effect. So it's going to go up into the Tattered Rags. It's not very good, but it is kind of a cool little reward that you can get. Then we have the Winterized Chinese Commando Helmet. You can also cheat this one in from Anchorage. This one protects for 1, weighs 1, gives you +1 perception, so it's also going to go up into Commonwealth Casual. It's decent. Then we have the Winterized Combat Helmet. You can actually cheat this one out of Anchorage without needing to actually spawn it in. This one protects for 5, weighs 3, and has infinite item HP. It's going to go up into Survivor's Choice just because of the infinite item HP. Even though you don't usually break these, it's nice to have something that is unbreakable. Then we have the Winterized Medic Helmet, which you get from Mothership Zeta, and this one is the exact same as the previous helmet. It's just that this one is not unbreakable, so it's going to go a tier lower. Then we move on to all of the eyewear, and the Ghoul Mask counts as eyewear, which is a little bit weird. Let's talk about that one first. So you get this one from completing a quest involving Tenpenny Tower. You have to side with the ghouls, and then they will give you the Ghoul Mask. The Ghoul Mask protects for 3, weighs 1, so it actually has the most defense out of any of these eyewears, and it makes it so Pharaoh Ghouls become neutral next to you. So if you're next to them, they won't attack you. However, if you already are attacking them, or if you have a companion that's attacking them, they will still target you. So this one can be super useful, especially at really any part in the game, because even in the early game, things like glowing ones are still fairly scary, and later on, the Reavers are actually pretty scary. So the Ghoul Mask, I'm going to put it up into Wasteland Best because it is actually really nice to have. And then we've got the Biker Goggles. These ones protect for 1, weigh 1, and have no effect. These are going to go into the Tattered Rags. They're better than nothing because at least they'll give you some defense, but assuming that you already have access to a helmet or other eyewear, you should probably go for that over the Biker Glasses. Then we have the standard eyeglasses, and this just goes for all versions of the eyeglasses because they're all basically the same, where they all protect for 1, they weigh 0, and they have decent item HP. These are fine for most builds, assuming that you're running a hat, because you put the hat on, you put the glasses on, you at least have some defense, and you're not adding extra weight to your character. Outside of that, you're going to want to go with other glasses, though, so let's talk about the other ones. First up is Desmond's glasses. You get these from Desmond in Point Lookout. You do have to kill Desmond to get these, which is not really that hard of a decision because I hate Desmond. He's one of my least favorite characters in Fallout. Desmond's glasses protect for 1, they weigh 0, they give you +5 explosives, and they give you +5 small guns. These ones are actually pretty decent. I'm going to put them up in Survivor's Choice because they're not bad overall. Then we've got Lagbolt Shades. You get this one from Broken Steel. This one also protects for 1, weighs 0, and it gives you +3 sneak and +3 lockpicking. This is actually really good because you can combine it with other things to up your perception and up your lockpicking even more. So I'm actually going to put this one up into Wasteland's Best, even though you do have to get to Broken Steel, which is usually towards the end game unless you just want to rush the main campaign. And then our last one is the Lucky Shades. And the Lucky Shades protect for 1. They actually weigh 1. They're the only eyeglasses that really do that besides the Biker Goggles. And they give you +1 luck. +1 luck is really nice because that's extra crit chance, which is really, really strong in Fallout 3. And it also potentially can up all of your skills because luck gives bonuses to every skill, but it gives bonuses to every skill less so than if you were to up something like perception, for example. This is where I'd put all the helmets and the eyewear, and a decent amount of the helmets and eyewear are actually pretty good, especially like when it comes to the power armor stuff, as well as there are some standouts like Button's wig and like Ledoux's mask that are fantastic. Tell me your thoughts on the helmets, the hats, and the eyewear down in the comments below. I'd love to hear that. Thank you guys so very much for watching this. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.